Good morning, dear students. Now, three colligative properties we have discussed. Okay, relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, and depression in freezing point. Now, from these colligative properties, theory part also comes. That is a conceptual question, and numerical also comes. Okay, so practice numericals. Now, we are moving to the fourth colligative property, that is osmotic pressure. But before starting with osmotic pressure, first the idea of osmosis should be clear. That what is the meaning of osmosis. Now suppose this is a container. Now this container is having a partition which is made up of semi-permeable membrane. Now what is semi-permeable membrane? Semi-permeable membrane is that which allows only solvent to pass through and it does not allow solute to pass through it. That is, only solvent molecules can move across the semi-permeable membrane. Now on one side I have kept pure solvent, okay, and on another side I have kept a solution. Now what will happen? You will find that the solvent molecules start moving from pure side to solution side. That is, the level of solvent will decrease and the level of solution will increase. This phenomenon is known as osmosis. So what is osmosis? The flow of solvent through a semi-permeable membrane from pure solvent to the solution side. Okay, this is osmosis. So if I ask what is the direction of osmosis, you can say the direction of osmosis is from higher solvent, that is where solvent is more, to lower solvent. Why lower solvent? Because solution is having two components, solvent as well as solute. So suppose here it is 100% water, but here it will not be 100% water because some solute is also there. Okay, so from higher solvent to lower solvent, the direction of osmosis is there. Osmosis also occurs between two solutions. Okay, suppose this is my solution number 1 and this is my solution number 2. Now suppose this is 10% solution, W by W, and this is 20% solution, W by W. Now what is the meaning of 10% solution? 10% solution means 10 gram of solute is present and 90 gram of solvent is present. 20% means 20 gram of solute is there and 80 gram of solvent is there. Now what is the direction of osmosis? Higher solvent to lower solvent. So here 90 gram water is there. So 90 to 80. This will be the direction of osmosis. Or we can say that in terms of solute, if someone asks us what is the direction of osmosis? Lower solute to higher solute. So higher solvent to lower solvent or lower solute to higher solute, the direction of osmosis is there. Okay, so this is a brief description of the phenomenon of osmosis. Okay, now what are the examples of semi-permeable membranes? All natural membranes such as your animal bladder membrane, parchment membranes, they are semi-permeable in nature. Synthetic membranes are also there, which for example cellophane membrane. But generally these are not used because they are quite imperfect for the process of osmosis. So nowadays some polymer membranes have been artificially synthesized. And what are the examples of these polymer membranes? Cellulose acetate and cellulose nitrate. It was a question in board examination that give two examples of semi-permeable membrane. So cellulose acetate and cellulose nitrate. Now osmosis is a common phenomenon in our day-to-day life. Okay, we observe osmosis. For example, pulses, raisins swell when placed in water. Now you must have seen. Okay, now raw mango shrivel when pickled in salt. Wilted flowers revive in fresh water. So these are the basically examples of osmosis in our day-to-day life. Okay, now I am taking one more example to explain this osmosis. Now there are three containers. The first container is having egg, normal egg, which is showing the size. The second container is having egg placed in distilled water. And the third container is having egg placed in NaCl solution. Now before starting with this practical, what we'll do, we'll remove the outer hard shell. Outer hard shell of egg, that is white colored shell, is made up of calcium carbonate. So what we'll do, we'll remove that hard shell of egg by dissolving in dilute HCl. Okay, calcium carbonate will react with dilute HCl. So that outermost hard cover will be removed. And afterwards, now cell will be surrounded by a membrane, and that membrane will act as a semi-permeable membrane. Now what are the observations? Okay, that we'll see. Now we'll find that when egg is placed in distilled water, now inside the egg some solution is there and outside it is distilled water. Now osmosis will occur, semi-permeable membrane is there, water will move inside, higher solvent to, now outside more solvent is there, inside the egg less solvent is there, so water will enter the egg. So what will happen? Egg will swell. And what will happen when egg is placed in NaCl solution? Now, inside the egg, solution is there, and outside also solution is there. And what is the direction of osmosis if two solutions are there? Lower solute to higher solute. Definitely the solution which is inside the egg is less. It means it is diluted as compared to NaCl solution. So what will happen? The egg will shrink. So these examples also explain osmosis, the phenomenon of osmosis. Okay, now osmosis is not our colligative property. Our main purpose is to discuss the next colligative property, that is osmotic pressure. Okay, now what is the meaning of osmotic pressure? Osmotic pressure is denoted by symbol pi. Now what is the meaning of osmotic pressure? Again, two compartments are there. These two compartments are separated by semi-permeable membrane. On one side pure solvent is there, on another side solution is there. Okay, and these are two weightless and frictionless pistons. Okay, now if osmosis continues, what will happen? The solvent molecules will start moving towards the solution side. Okay, now what will happen? The level of solvent side will come down and the level of solution will move up. As a result of this, now this piston will come down because solvent level is moving downwards and the piston of solution side will move up. But suppose if I apply some pressure here on the solution side on this piston, okay, so that the piston neither moves up nor moves down. Okay, I have to apply some pressure on this piston which is on the solution side so that the piston does not move at all. What will happen? Now if this piston is not rising up, this piston will not move down, and as a result of this, solvent molecules will not enter the solution side. It means what we can say? The process of osmosis is stopped. So whatever pressure we are applying here so that the process of osmosis is stopped is known as osmotic pressure. Again I am repeating, the solvent molecules are moving towards the solution side. This piston is moving down and this piston is moving up. But suppose if I apply some pressure here on this piston, solution side piston, so that it does not rise up, what will happen? If this piston is not rising up, solvent molecules cannot enter this compartment. Okay, so the process of osmosis will be stopped, and this excess pressure which must be applied on the solution side to prevent the passage of solvent into it through a semi-permeable membrane is known as osmotic pressure. Is this clear? So this is the definition of osmotic pressure and it is denoted by a symbol pi. Now this osmotic pressure is a colligative property. And what is the meaning of colligative property? Which depends upon the number of moles. And experimentally they conducted several experiments and they found that greater is the concentration of the solution, more is the osmotic pressure we have to apply. Okay, so pi is directly proportional to C. It depends upon the molar. This C is the molar concentration. Okay, in the last two colligative properties we used molality, but here we are using molarity. Okay, number of moles per volume. Is this clear? So greater is the molar concentration of the solution, more pressure, that is more osmotic pressure we have to apply here so as to stop osmosis. Is this clear? Now if we remove the proportionality sign to constants, that is R and T. R, you know, this is universal gas constant, and T is my absolute temperature, that is temperature in Kelvin. Is this clear? So this is my last colligative property, osmotic pressure. Now again the next determination of molar mass from osmotic pressure. So pi is equal to CRT, because we have to solve numericals on this. Concentration is molarity now, number of moles of solute NB upon V, and this volume should be in liters. Okay, now expand this formula, NB upon V into R into T. Okay, now what is NB? Given mass upon molar mass. R is universal gas constant, T is temperature, and this volume should be in liters. So this is the formula for calculating pi, and from this formula we can calculate molar mass for molar mass of unknown solute. Okay, now let's discuss another concept related to osmotic pressure, and that is isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic solutions. Okay, now what is the meaning of these three types? Okay, different solutions have different osmotic pressures because osmotic pressure depends upon the molar concentration. So if the two solutions have different concentrations, molar concentrations, their osmotic pressures will be different. Okay, Now suppose I am having two solutions. The first concentration is C1 and the second concentration is C2 separated by semi-permeable membrane. Suppose if C1 and C2 are same. Okay, now what will happen actually? Suppose initially C1 and C2 are different. Then what will happen? The solvent molecules will start moving from higher side to lower side till both the concentrations are equal. Okay, so the stage where both the osmotic pressures or both the concentrations are equal. Okay, at this stage no osmosis will occur. So the solutions having same osmotic pressure at the same temperature, that is their equimolar concentrations, now they are known as isotonic or isoosmotic solutions. So what is the meaning of isotonic solutions? The solutions having same osmotic pressure, and definitely if osmotic pressure is same, the concentrations should be same, and in between these two solutions no osmosis occurs. A solution having more osmotic pressure. Now suppose again two solutions are there. C1 and C2 are concentrations. Osmotic pressure related to first is pi 1 and related to second is pi 2. Now the solution having more osmotic pressure, definitely more concentrated solution it will be. Then the other is known as hypertonic, and the solution having less osmotic pressure, that is less concentrated, is called hypotonic. Okay, so if concentration C1 is greater than C2, then this solution is hypertonic and this solution is hypotonic. Okay, so this is the concept of isotonic, hypotonic and hypertonic solutions. Okay, now what is the practical application of this concept? Now listen carefully. 0.91% W by V. W by V we have learned earlier. Okay, solution of NaCl is isotonic with fluid inside human RBCs. Okay, human RBCs are present in blood. Okay, and RBCs have some cytoplasm or fluid inside them, and the concentration of that fluid is equivalent to 0.9% NaCl. Okay, so 0.9% NaCl is isotonic with fluid inside the human RBCs. And if RBCs are kept in this 0.9% solution, now inside the concentration, inside the RBCs, the concentration is 0.9. Outside also it is 0.9. So if the RBCs are placed in such solutions, now both the solutions are isotonic now. So in this solution, RBCs neither swell nor shrink. Is this clear? Now this is a practical application. That's why medicines are first mixed with saline water. And what is the concentration of the saline water? So now why they are mixed with saline water? So that whatever medicines they are injecting in the veins, the concentration of that medicine becomes equal to 0.9% NaCl before injecting into veins. So all the intravenous injections, okay, so what they do for intravenous injections, first the medicines are mixed with saline water so that the concentration of medicine becomes equal to 0.9% NaCl, and it easily mixes with our blood, and RBCs neither swell nor shrink. But suppose if we don't do this, okay, now see again 3 containers are there. RBCs are placed in 0.9% NaCl, nothing will happen. Inside also 0.9, outside also 0.9. But if RBCs are placed in a solution which is concentration greater than 0.9% NaCl, now listen, inside 0.9, outside greater than 0.9. Outside solution is more concentrated, hypertonic. Inside it is hypotonic. Now what is the direction of osmosis? Low solute to more solute. Okay, so water will move out and RBCs will shrink. And if RBCs are placed in a solution with concentration less than 0.9% NaCl, now less than means in outside it is hypotonic because it is less than 0.9, and inside RBCs it is 0.9, so it is hyper now. And what is the direction of osmosis? Hypo to hyper. So water will enter inside this RBC and RBCs will swell or burst. Okay, now next application, people taking a lot of salty food, okay, experience water retention in tissues and intercellular spaces because of osmosis. Okay, so there is some puffiness or swelling in a particular area, okay, and that swelling is known as edema. This is another application of osmosis. Okay, a person suffering from high blood pressure is advised to take less salt. Why? Because if you take more salt, what will happen? The concentration of salt will increase. Salt means Na plus and Cl minus will increase. And if the concentration of Na plus and Cl minus will increase, osmotic pressure of blood will increase. And as a result of this, cells can rupture. Okay, so these are the phenomena which are related to this osmosis and osmotic pressure. Okay, now next is very important question. It is very important question. Okay, that is, what is the meaning of reverse osmosis, or RO? Okay, and it can be used for desalination of seawater. So what is reverse osmosis? Now listen carefully. Again, I am having solvent and solution. Both are separated by semi-permeable membrane. Two pistons are there. Okay, I am applying pressure here. Okay, and what is the magnitude of pressure? The pressure should be such that osmosis is stopped. That pressure is known as osmotic pressure. So what is osmotic pressure? You have to apply only that much pressure that piston neither moves up nor moves down. That is, osmosis is stopped. That was osmotic pressure. But if I apply pressure greater than osmotic pressure, suppose if I push this piston, now what will happen? Here also solvent molecules are present. So if I apply some extra pressure which is greater than osmotic pressure, what will happen? The solvent molecules will start moving from solution side to pure side. That is, the direction of osmosis is reversed. So if the pressure greater than osmotic pressure is applied on the solution side, here I am applying the extra pressure, the solvent molecules start moving from solution side to pure side. That is, the process of osmosis is reversed, and this phenomenon is known as reverse osmosis, and this is the principle behind all the RO water plants. Okay, and it can be used for desalination of seawater, but it in many countries actually this work has been started, but it requires lot of energy. Okay, at our home, and what this extra pressure, which electrical energy. Okay, electrical energy is providing this extra pressure, and that is used for filtering the water. Okay, so this is the concept of reverse osmosis. Now there is one more question which is related to this osmosis, that what is the purpose of all the colligative properties? The only purpose is calculating molar mass of unknown solute. Okay, now we have polymers, macromolecules. Polymers are those molecules which are very large in size. Large in size means their molar mass is very high. Now we have learned that in all the formula of colligative properties, molar mass is coming in the denominator part, Wb upon Mb. So if molar mass is very high, the magnitude of colligative property will be very less. Okay, so suppose if the question comes that how can you calculate molar mass of any polymer or macromolecule? We cannot use relative lowering of vapor pressure. We cannot use this elevation in boiling point, depression in freezing point, because if molar mass is high, the magnitude of these properties will be very, very less. And it is not possible for us to measure them at room temperature. Okay, so which property is preferred? Osmotic pressure is the property which is preferred for calculating molar mass of polymers and other macromolecules. What are the reasons? First is it can be measured at room temperature. Its values are larger and measurable even for dilute solutions. Okay, so its values are measurable. Even we have very, very dilute solution, or even the molar mass is very, very high, in thousands it is, then also its value we can measure at room temperature.